of the
of the United States of
America,
America,
and
to the republic
for
for which it stands, one nation.
one nation, under
under
God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty, justice for all.
for all.
Okay, great. Will the secretary please call the roll?
President Schultz,
Present.
Secretary Treasurer Horowitz.
Here,
Trustee Warner is absent. Trustee Pell.
Present.
Trustee Welker.
Here,
Mr. President, we have a quorum present this afternoon.
Okay, we get a little back here. Anne's here. I didn't hear her on my computer.
Uh,
Okay. Let me
Billy
check to
Mack's
see
here.
if let me check to see if there's a problem with her computer. I'll be right there, right in the next office.
we got Billy Mack here. He looks very happy.
Put it on mute.
okay. You guys can't hear me?
But
I
now
can hear you.
Can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem. All right, so
Here.
we have the waterfowl hunting location permit application for determination. First one's of mine, and Jessica's here to fill us in on the details. So first one's what, Jeremy Eastwood, you want to do?
There's a little bit, if I'm cutting you off, Eric. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
You're garbled.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called.
So yes, so the first item on the agenda is Jeremy Eastwood, permit number 18. He originally had applied for a late renewal, and then he has had some issues at home relating to COVID. So he actually decided to give up his location to the wait list. So that's like a new update that I just got in the office today. So it's not on the agenda. So he would like to give this spot back to the wait list, and he wants to go to the bottom of the wait list.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Cool. So we'll advance that one. And then Ralph Beaver, permit number 13. This is an expired non-renewal permit. Basically, I sent out the renewal packets in August every year. Everyone knows that they have to renew it between August and October 31st. He did not submit a renewal. And in the application packet that I send out, it says all materials must be received in the trustee's office no later than October 30th. Or 31st, failure to return this application and supporting documentation by the due date will result in the forfeiture of that location. There will be no exception. So previously, we had just gone to resolution to give these spots to this type of spot to the wait list when they don't, reach out to the office and explain that they missed the deadline or whatever. So that's what this situation is, and there's a couple more like this that
But I thought he did reach out.
no,
thought Mr.
I have
Beaver
not
reached
reached out in a few years because the whole point was that we were like gonna stop
No, I thought Mr. Beaver reached out to our office.
he did reach out to our office because this is his second violation now. So he had reached out when he got a violation last year.
Thank
I have the wrong file in front of me.
I thought he contacted us after we all had the discussions that these ones were initial. I thought he reached out to us right away.
I don't know if he reached out to one of the trustees maybe, but I haven't had contact with him since August. He had a violation in the 2019-2020 season, and due to COVID, we actually didn't end up, we normally do those resolutions at the end of that season in like February, but we didn't because of COVID. So those resolutions went out for the notice of violations in August, and he failed to grasp blind and arrange for a visual inspection. So he actually ended up getting his spot back from that situation, but this is now a new situation where he just never renewed his paperwork. And I haven't heard from him. Have you guys heard from him? Has anyone?
You know
heard
what?
from him?
I think we're going to have to look at this again because I'm jogging my memory here.
I
I
know,
thought he
because-
did reach to us.
Does sound familiar, Scott, for some reason. What was the violation that he had in the first place last year?
Where he didn't hunt grass call for visual inspection. And then he
Oh.
sent an email apologizing, and we gave the spot back to him, and then he just never renewed it.
All right, I'll tell you what, then text me his number and I'll get in touch with him tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay.
is that
We'll
how
do
you
it
guys
done
are
before
gonna
the,
want? Sorry?
so we'll get it done before Monday's meeting. Find out
Okay.
what's,
Yeah, because
Okay.
I know he did reach out to us. I just don't recall but I know he did. I
okay.
don't recall. what
Okay,
the
so then
situation-
we're gonna like hold this one?
I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're holding, but possibly may go on for Monday's meeting, Jess?
Yeah, I think we're holding pending,
Well, why don't you put it on for Monday's meeting and then we'll make a determination then, whether we have to table it or not. That way it's in system, it's following its course, you know what I mean?
you
Right?
want me to put it on as a resolution to go back to the wait list? Because that's the resolution that I would have to type.
All right, well, between Lisa and you, which one would you prefer? So it would be, make it easier on the staff.
Jessica, would that entail preparing a separate resolution other than the blanket resolution that you normally do?
Yeah, I'm hesitant to type the resolution because like I would put a blanket one altogether with all of them. So I don't know, I guess my question to you guys is this how you want to handle all the expired non-renewal permits?
No, not necessarily. Why don't we just take his name off the blanket resolution right now, and then if we make contact, then we can handle it at the next meeting after that.
Okay. Okay,
Okay, so we're gonna hold. We're gonna hold, Mr. Beaver.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Jess, you
All right.
good with that?
yeah.
Okay.
So the next one is Andrew Doran, permit number 3. He's an approved individual from the wait list. I sent it to the Bay Constables and they were all good with it. It is east side of Swan Island.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we'll advance that. Okay, this is another one, a scenario. This is Scott's area where Michael B. Glass, permit number 67, expired non-renewal permit. He also just never submitted his paperwork.
Yeah, that one, I don't recall him reaching out to me or this office at all.
No, yeah, I haven't had any contact with him. So would you like to advance it to go to resolution to be offered to the wait list for next year?
Yeah, I mean, if he hasn't responded, the other guy, I do recall him responding, but this one I don't. You can,
Right. Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, and then these are Ed's. So Eric, you're taking over these.
Okay. James Cappers, late renewal. He submitted a letter of explanation. Are you satisfied with that?
Yeah, he did. I forwarded around to you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm good
he
with-
had some issues, so he apologized and he explained why it was late.
Okay.
with it.
Okay, we'll advance that to a permit. The next one, Dan McKay, permit number 98. He, it's an expired non-renewal permit. He never submitted his renewal application.
Okay.
So do you want to advance this to go back to the wait list?
I would. I mean, it's not as if we're the only agency that these people have to talk to. They need to have the duck stamps every year, so they're well aware of there's certain rules and regulations involved.
Yeah.
Like that if they were ill or they just forgot or something like that, would be a little bit flexible, but not sending anything in is indicates that you're not interested in it anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
The next one is Trustee Pell. All 3 of these actually, Edward P. Aduck, permit number 212, permit number 215, and permit number 216. All 3 of them are late renewals. He did submit a letter of explanation, and apologized about he said he was traveling and he had a backlog of paperwork and from COVID.
Fine with that.
Okay, so we'll advance all three of these to permit.
Yeah, we can advance all three of those.
Okay, the next one, Travis Muller. This was a new waterfowl hunting location. So there's no permit number because he was trying to apply for a brand new one. I know you guys have had some correspondence.
Jessica, I'd like to put that one on hold. I'd like to have some talk to the other permit holders in that area because there's a lot of duck blinds in that one area, and we need to I want to make sure there's a place for the birds to rest. And that's over everything.
Okay.
So I have to get a list of you what blinds in that area.
Sure. Yep.
And I think there's like 5 or 6 blinds and all are within, a couple thousand feet of that blind.
Okay. Yep. I can email you all that information.
All right. Thanks.
No problem. We'll hold this one. The next one is Michael Muharamavic, permit number 227, expired non-renewal permit. Once again, did not, reach out to our office, did not submit the renewal application.
Now that's a person who's probably busy with the COVID situation. So did we try and make a phone call?
It's not protocol that I, do that. But if you want me to, I have no
I
problem
mean,
doing that.
I would do that on that one because it's a
Yeah.
local physician and I'm sure he's probably
Busy.
inundated.
Yeah.
Unless you know something, Billy.
Send me his phone number. I'll give him a call tomorrow. See what the scoop is with him.
Okay.
Yeah,
not
because
gonna-
I'm sure, he may be overwhelmed.
Yeah, it might be very busy, like Scott said.
Mhm.
Okay, so
But
you
we-
want to hold that one until we hear from him?
Yeah, let's see. They're all, Bill, myself, whatever. We'll reach out and
Well,
just make sure.
Not call. He doesn't live too
Okay.
far.
Beautiful.
So we're holding Mr. Maharovic, Jess?
Yes.
Thank you.
And lastly, Eric Kremborg, I actually hadn't heard from him until today. So I hadn't had a chance to update the agenda at all. He submitted his renewal paperwork today and also with a letter of explanation. He apologized. He just didn't really understand the rules and regulations. This is only his first year or second year, going on second year, having his location. So he was really sorry about that and he would like to keep his spot.
That's great. Thank you, Jess, for handling that today. Apologies for the scrambling.
No problem. So do we want to advance that one to go to permit for Eric Kremborg? Okay.
Please.
And I think that's all, unless you guys have any questions for me.
No, that's it. Great job as usual.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jessica.
guys.
Great job.
Good
Thanks.
job, Jess.
All right, take care, guys.
Good job, Mrs. Feldman.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Permits application for determination. First one is a Fisher Organization, LLC, 326 Royal Avenue, Flanders. It's across the street from Devassi, the one we'd been deliberating on for a while. There's erosion down there, and it has a short wall. And since the beach has narrowed, the water's coming, as you can see, it's creating a semicircular washout there. Now, hopefully, when Devassi's piece gets done and the new bulkhead gets put up, that sand will start to rebuild. But this would be a kind of a last resort type of thing. They're coming in with an application to extend that return, and Ann expressed some questions on it last meeting. So have you been able to go down there to take a look at that, Ann?
I have. The one thing I didn't do was talk to anybody in the highway department. Is that necessary to run anything past them?
This is
With
your
this-
jurisdiction, and so any other permits possibly, but this board has to make a determination of jurisdiction, just like on the last meeting involving a proposed highway right of way. So that question of jurisdiction is one for this board to determine and to articulate with a rational basis. I believe if the board is inclined to do so, you can move forward today. I would note for the record, this property did have justice court matters. Those have been resolved adequately at this point in time. So that should not be a factor that the board considers. Otherwise, you can proceed on this to move it forward if you so choose.
Right. It's only within the bounds of their property.
It wasn't a jurisdiction question. It was a downdrift scour.
Oh, okay. Okay. I believe that the beach is going to build up now that we've approved this other permit on the other side there. We'll probably, it is listed as a spoil area. The people that are trying to dig out the canal on the other side intend to probably put some sand there and build that beach up a little bit for the enjoyment of the public. And this is just a worst case scenario, this bulkhead extension here, the return extension, it's to solve some of the erosion problems. So I don't think it's going to be a big issue. I don't think rocks would be the right thing right here. That's why I didn't suggest them. So I guess
Okay.
the rest of the board would want to chime in if you want to.
Nope, I was just concerned about the end of the road and that little beach is used by this community. And I wanted to make sure that it would stay as a little beach.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand that, but that's why we had Devasi extend that and fix that wall up to prevent the sand from going out of there. That's one of the main reasons why there had been so much erosion. So that should cancel that out. And we can always put sand down there. We transferred sand from our other property, so I'm sure that will be a beach from now on and start to restore. And Devasi is going to reclaim some of that sand that was lost into his canal and put it back in front of those rocks. So it shouldn't be a problem. That's why I didn't mention the rocks in the first place. Otherwise, I would have.
Okay, thank
So
you.
I'm okay with it. And also, there was a violation down there. It was adjudicated in court where some wetlands grasses were removed in the front of the bulkhead, and that's been addressed. We conditioned this on submission of a revegetation plan for that grass that was taken out of there.
Did you
Everybody
want to
else?
speak, Dan?
Oh, it's Chuck? Can you guys hear me?
Hey,
Oh,
Chuck.
sorry, Chuck.
Oh, okay. No, I think everything's been addressed. You know, we submitted the replanting of the alterniflora removed. I agree with Eric that this bulkhead is much more appropriate for this particular area. And like I say, when they dredge the entrances to the canal, that whole area is going to be a spoil site for the sand. So I think it'll help keep the beach there in the long term.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'd like to move this forward if everybody's okay and concurrence.
Good.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Next is Scott.
Yep. So I have 27 Meadow Lane in Quogue, and I see that Chuck is here from Land Use. We have an application, restore existing 8x30 boat ramp. Existing boat ramp surface is proposed to be replaced utilizing open grade material on a gravel base. McNichols fiberglass grading, non-slip, 70% open area is proposed to be utilized. and it's going to be the same existing grade of the boat ramp. Chuck, you want to speak to your application?
Yeah, I think, right now there's an existing concrete kind of a grid. I don't even know if you'd call it a grid that's there. It's deteriorated. It doesn't provide for a very useful boat ramp. This property is being redeveloped in the upland, and the owners wanted to make sure that it was usable without being as slippery as the other one that's there that actually needs to be replaced anyway. So we tried to come up with a product, the open grate. This is 70% open on a gravel base. So, and we're going to put it in the exact same spot. So it's really just a restoration of an older boat ramp in this area.
Yeah, I noticed, because I was there earlier with the prior permits, and I did notice that the upland was being redeveloped, and I failed to see the house there anymore.
No, that is very true. It is being redeveloped. It's a beautiful piece of property.
Yes, so I don't see any issue with this. It's in conformity with our Blue Book regulations, and it could really move forward. Somebody's got to get that phone.
Oh, it's my house phone and I never answer it, so it'll
You probably have a problem with your car warranty.
It's a robo call, I'm sure,
You need solar panels.
Yeah, you need a car warranty for the car you owned 12 years ago.
That's right.
So we're gonna advance that, or?
I would advance it.
No, that'd be great. I appreciate that.
I would advance it. I don't see any reason not to advance it.
Okay.
The next one that he has here is 12 Bayview Drive in Quogue. It's 184 plus or minus linear feet of existing bulkhead reconstructed in place utilizing vinyl sheathing. 80 plus or minor feet of new bulkhead is proposed for the enlargement of the existing boat slip. 264 feet total proposed. The 12 by 20 boat slip is proposed to be expanded to 20 by 30. Creation of the boat slip expansion proposed 360 plus or minus square feet to be removed. 100 plus or minus cubic yards are proposed to be removed and deposited at an off-site location. 3-foot wide wood walk is proposed on the landward side of the bulkhead. Were depicted on the project plans, which James could put up. 10-foot wide non-turf, non-fertilization buffer is proposed landward of the bulkhead. Non-structural areas proposed to be planted with beach grass 12 inches on center. All materials will be inclusive of non-treated lumber. This is on the Quad Canal. And any buffering that you can get on these properties in the Quad Canal is fantastic, because anybody that's taking the boat ride up and down the Quad Canal will see there's many properties that are not maintaining their buffers with beautiful green grass right to the water, which is not helpful. But this appears to be helpful, and it appears to be, in my view, in line with our Blue Book regulations. Chuck, do you want to speak to this further?
Oh, sure. Again, this was currently vacant. It's being redeveloped. And from the very beginning, we told the owners that they're going to have to put in a buffer. The bulkhead certainly needs to be reconstructed. So I don't think that's an issue. We have a 10-foot buffer in front of that. The boat slip is very small. And as you know, it's Quad Canal. You can't have docks in this area. So I always think that making more water is probably better than less water in any case. So they're enlarging it to 20 by 30 so that they can actually get 2 boats in the slip instead of just one. And, everything else will meet Village of Quogue regulations as far as the house is concerned. So I think it's pretty simple. Yeah. It'll be dug out behind the existing slip before the old bulkhead in the slip is taken out. And I think we already show that on the plan.
Yeah, I don't see an issue. This is kind of typical to what goes on in that area. I would say the compliant material and the maintenance of a buffer in that area, I think would be a plus for the waterway. So I think it should advance.
Okay. Okay. We good with that, everybody? Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, so the next one is Ed's, and let's just briefly go to the overhead with the depths.
Eric, I think Billy is on from First Coastal.
Mhm. Okay, on this particular one.
Yes. There he
Okay.
is. Hey, Billy.
Where is he?
He's there. He's got to unmute.
Okay, there we are. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
You too.
Billy.
Hello, Billy.
Hey,
Hey,
Bill.
how's everybody? So this is a proposed fixed pier on this property. That's one of the few that doesn't have one along this stretch.
Mhm.
And we're proposing to go out about 135 feet, which I believe is the limit from the edge of the bulkhead. And at that point, we reach 1.8 feet of water, 1.9 on the north side.
Yeah, that's the only question I had is, has Ed discussed this with you, the 1.8? I know with that we enlarged we lengthened the docks out there, but you're only reaching 1.8.
I haven't had a chance to go over it with Ed, and I could certainly do that if you guys want to pause this.
Well, I think since he's not here, I think we're gonna have to table it
That's fine.
until he says had some input
Sure.
on it. The
Sure.
other docks in the area go out to 2 feet, 2.5 feet of water, and this one only goes down to 1.8. So if we can
Yeah.
figure out what's going on.
Well,
Hey,
the
Bill.
adjacent property goes to 2.1. Yeah.
Yeah. How about if you move the dock more to the other side, right where the. looks
Well,
like you have
we
2
thought about that. That might be an option. However, we'd have to build a walkway on the. Well, there is a walkway there now, but it's quite a distance from the guy's path.
Right.
And the difference is like a 0.3 foot gain of depth. So you go to 1.8 to possibly 2.0 or 2.1.
Right.
Or 1.9 to 2.1.
It's not a drastic increase.
Not a drastic, but
I think Ed's got to weigh in on this, though.
Yeah. Yeah, happy to talk to Ed about this when he's back.
Okay. All right. So we'll table this till the next meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys very much. Everybody enjoy.
You too.
Thank you, Billy.
Cheers.
Ann's next.
This is John Idle, 411 Rose Hill Road in Watermill. Chuck was on for the last meeting where we discussed the installation of 100 to 500 pound stones at the toe of the eroded bluff. And one thing that was discussed was planting of vegetation on the backside, on the landward side of these boulders. Eric, I don't believe you were here when this was discussed at the last meeting. So this is property in Hayground Cove.
Well, I saw all the pictures. I looked at the file. Mm-hmm.
Chuck, did you want to speak to this at all?
Absolutely. I think after the last meeting, we had an agreement that this was a minimal kind of a little wave break. This property does get erosion during some storms that come in. And all we're trying to do here is to have a little trip wall of fairly small boulders. There are some on the right side of the dock facing the water. But we also now sent in an amended plan per Ann's recommendations, and I agree that the eroded scarp is obviously going to slough off. And at that point in the spring, we will plant it with switchgrass, Panicum virgatum, and also with marshmallow, Hibiscus palustris, to get some vegetation growing on that upland slope. So that's now included in the plan.
I was concerned about the use or installation of boulders in this area. There are rocks on the open bay, but there are no other rocks along the shoreline of Hayground Cove. In looking at the distance of fetches, there is a significant fetch from Dune Road in Bridgehampton of approximately 1.3 miles to the subject property. At one point, an area that was formerly or is known as the waiting place, the area that would be between the point at the end of Rose Hill Road and the adjacent point, there was a significant sandbar there. That sandbar has now eroded and it's pretty much open. So there is a fetch of a fairly significant fetch from Dune Road. There's also a fetch straight across or just a little bit to the northeast of approximately 2,000 feet into the creek just across the way. And there's also a fairly significant fetch to the north, about 4,500 feet up to the condos.
Roxanne.
Watermill condos. When we looked back through the layers of, through the yearly layers, and we're looking at how much distance had been lost between 1984 and today, it's about 23 feet. And there was significant loss after Hurricane Sandy of about 34 feet, but then that has since been regained. So I guess we had suggested, Chuck was, didn't feel that biologs were an appropriate use here. So if there were anything else that might be a slightly greener alternative to the rocks, I would be happy to listen to that. If anybody else had any thoughts, my only other thought would be if we were to approve the use of the rocks, that they be kept covered with sand, perhaps. Well, I'm happy to listen to any other thoughts.
Yeah, my thoughts with the biologs is that Ann is completely correct. There is a good fetch here now. And if you look on the other side of the dock, the shoreline is fairly stable. There are some rocks that were put there. I don't know the history of it, but they seem to be protecting that vegetation in some. I suggested to the owner that they're kind of just in a pile to put them in a configuration of, in a linear configuration. And this is really just as a trip wall to, cut the wave action, and it's certainly not meant to harden the shoreline, because what will happen is that you're going to get sediment accumulating on the landward side of it, which will then vegetate. There's no doubt about that. The biologs, I just have never had where there is some wave energy. I just haven't had good success with them unless they're on the upper reaches of the creek where there is no wave energy, and then they work fine. But they would, in this instance, in a big storm, they would either be taken out, ripped apart, or deteriorate. So I think this is kind of a minimal way to stabilize and get vegetation to grow behind it. And anyway, that's why we came up with that concept and proposal, that the owner is happy to do the planting as well.
James, can you bring any pictures up of the area?
Yep, absolutely.
I'm sorry, my two dogs are decided to have a play fight here, so.
These are the existing boulders there. You can see them in here too. And then this is the other side.
The existing boulders really are just kind of dumped in a pile, and but that's basically the size that we're talking about. But it's just a single row. The existing ones would just be put in a single row, and a single row of new boulders would be placed on the other side of the dock. And you can't really see in these pictures, but there's actually a vertical scarp, under that vegetation that has been over the years. That shoreline has migrated landward. So, the purpose is to provide for, you can see the scarp there underneath it, is to catch the sediment, allow and vegetate that scarp and have a more, a natural shoreline, which, as you know, I'm a big proponent of. But it needs to get help.
Would there be any point in requesting that those boulders be kept covered with sand? Or does anybody have any alternative thoughts on?
Well, my thoughts are, if it did work, then, and you would have a nice, vegetation kind of taken over behind that, it would, possibly build a nice shoreline area there and kind of knock down that fetch, but yet allow what's behind it to kind of, thrive. You would hope, you would think. So, I mean, his idea is not, it's a reasonable attempt at what he's trying to accomplish, I think. It's better than a pure hardening of that shoreline for sure. I agree. I don't think the biologs are going to be successful there. It's going to make a mess. And I think that creating some type of a, as you would call it, the living shoreline type of a setting there with the vegetation growing behind it and perhaps up in it, maybe he's onto something that'll work out here to solve the issue.
I think, Scott, that just by putting this very low, and they're very small boulders, so they're going to trip any waves that come in. But when you get the storms in the right direction across that fetch, as soon as it comes over it, it's going to deposit sediment on the backside of it. So you're going to get some buildup of sediment, which is then going to be colonized by the vegetation that's there. And I just think it's a kind of a good way without really hardening the shoreline. It's just giving it a little help.
They're not gigantic size and they're kind of rounded. It looks like if those are the kind of in line with the size and shape of what it is that you're going to utilize.
Well, that boulder that size is about 2 foot by 2 foot.
2 foot by 2 foot. So, if need be, you can remove or manipulate or, like these need to be, as you say, arranged more linear.
Right.
So, I mean, what are the other options that you have here to try and accomplish what he's trying to do? It's not a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's only one row, I would suggest that it be covered by sand, or some kind of medium to allow plants to grow and extend their roots into it.
We can cover the backside of it.
Yeah.
and up to the height of the rock. So, I mean, I'm sure they would go along with that, you know.
The front side probably be gone immediately.
Absolutely.
Immediately. You know, I think whatever you can do that's going to best get some deep-rooted native type vegetation to thrive behind it, I think would be in the best interest of everybody.
Mhm.
Just so you know, Mr. Idle has actually even tried to get some Phragmites to grow in this area. You know?
Didn't work.
Yes, but it didn't work and it got taken out too. So
Got taken out also. So maybe if you can cut down on some of that fetch, you could give something the opportunity to take root.
Possibly.
well, I'll be more than happy to amend the plan to show some sand landward of the rocks to the scarp. I already talked to someone who would be installing it, and you know, they already have a plan to very minimally bring the rocks in, you know, plywood the lawn. You know, basically a lot of the rocks are just two guys picking them up and putting them in. So it, you know, sand would be same thing, wheelbarrowed across, you know, get a bobcat on the lawn and then wheelbarrow it along the shoreline. So I just don't want any equipment down on the beach, you know.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, they're not giant, they're not super heavy. It's just, you know, and you're going to want to arrange them nicely and, you know, and get them to, you know, look good and work out.
Yes. All right. I thought that it was much more involved than what it is. It's just one row. There's been similar other projects done in Georgia because it's worked out pretty good.
Exactly. Yes, that is true, Eric.
Okay.
Right.
I
Down
think
there,
it's a
Brian.
reasonable attempt.
Does anybody else have any thoughts or questions?
No.
Chuck, can you, Lisa, if Chuck can get his, what would you do? Just put a sentence in on the cover sheet and on the plans?
I can
If
get
you
it done tomorrow, and yeah, not a problem.
Okay.
If you could get that in tomorrow, could we advance this, please?
Sure.
So updated
Oh.
cover sheet, Anne?
Please. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
And the language on the plans as well, Chuck, please.
Yep. I also caught a
Thank you.
spelling error on the plan, so.
Okay, thanks, Chuck.
Which meeting do you want this on?
Oh,
Yeah, it's not
Sorry.
going to go on for Monday. It'll go on for the following meeting.
Right.
right.
Yeah, so you have time,
Yes.
Chuck.
Okay,
Thanks, James.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be tomorrow.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
My mistake.
No,
Thank you,
no, mine
James.
too.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a
Well-
great evening.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all the applications today. I just have a little presentation I want to make just to enlighten everybody on some beach driving or beach parking regulations and use in other parts of the country. This is Volusia County, specifically New Smyrna Beach area south of Daytona. Now, we all know that Daytona has been used as a beach for driving since the 1900s, where they had auto races on it. But this is from New Smyrna Beach out Inlet Park, extending down to the middle of town. James can zoom in on the use of the beach. You'll see the way beach driving, or beach parking, I should say, is handled down there for the last probably 40, 50 years in this particular county. We can zoom in. Now, this is in front of, you know, condo units, hotels, and everything. This is a single line of cars, and you'll notice the beachgoers in front and the umbrellas and stuff. They have a delineated pathway that they can drive 5 miles an hour. I've been down there. I've seen it.
I've been there too.
very well regulated. In certain parts, certain areas there's not as many cars, but in others there are. There's no regulations as how many cars per, per lineal foot there is, but it just seems to be some parts more popular than others, mostly where there's entrances from the streets. You can see the one street goes right down to the beach and people access it like that. There's food trucks down there, and and if you go towards New Smyrna Inlet Park, they utilize the same piping plover signs as we do, because that's where the piping plovers end up in the summertime. They're not foraging with chicks, obviously, but they're still on the endangered species list, and the cars are allowed right there. That if you go down there, there's people right. Zoom in on that. Right in that vicinity. There's dunes behind that, and it's a popular place for fishing. And the people drive down there, and you'll notice they park in one row. So when we resume talks, about beach parking and everything, I just wanted to let you know how it's done in other parts of the country.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric.
Okay. Anybody else have anything bring up today?
Just we took a pretty good beating over the last couple of days with the weather. Obviously, all types of high tides and erosion issues, and just telling you what you already know. I mean, I was out looking at a lot of my area, which was completely inundated with water.
Mm-hmm.
So
Big Press coming along good.
Big Press is pretty much done, but I maybe it got destroyed the other night. I tried getting down there, and the water was all the way up. Couldn't even get near it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out. Okay. So with that, I'm going to make a motion to close this meeting and then open a public meeting to discuss Tom's Pond, which will occur in about 5 minutes because Charles needs some time to shift gears. So I'd like to make a motion to close this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried, closed. See you back in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Are we staying on this Zoom, or we have another link, or?
No, we're gonna stay
It'll
on.
take me a second, so
Stay
I
on.
don't want to miss.
Okay.
I still got Billy Mack here. And he's in a good mood, it looks like.
I guess some people see different screens. I only see you, Scott. Myself, you.
That's scary.
What do you have?
You need to put your computer
Put on
on
gallery
gallery mode.
Oh, that's okay. I will.
You're on speaker mode. So I'm ready to go.
All right, we're good.
Don't worry about it.
Tell me when to start.
Good start, Eric.
Oh, there we go. Everybody's on there now. Okay.
You ready?
The whole gang's here. And look at Billy Mack. Look at the good mood he's in.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Okay. All right. I'd like to open a special meeting of the Southampton Town Trustees. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So this meeting is as you recall, last meeting we extended a closure of Tom's Pond till December 3rd to allow for inventory performed by Cornell Cooperative Extension. So I'd like to introduce a motion to recall and amend the resolution that we adopted at that meeting to close Tom's Pond until December 3rd and set an amended date of closure until December 15th, 2020. The issue of closure will be put on the agenda for the meeting next Monday on December 7th. The reason for December 15th was picked to give us a time to evaluate it. And if it needs to be modified at the next meeting, we can do it then. All right.
Have you spoken with Greg
Because
LaBarre?
the reason why is because Ed is not here, and he's the shellfisher guy on the board, and we'd like to have his input.
All right. You need to do the roll call again for this meeting, Lisa? Or is
He's
you gotta
on mute.
unmute yourself?
You're on mute.
You gotta
Please.
unmute, Lisa.
Lisa, you're on mute.
I'm
There you
sorry,
go.
President Schultz, I can take attendance. We also have to have public portion. And then we would need to table, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, the resolution that's currently on the agenda for the special meeting
Monday,
till Monday, right?
yes.
Okay,
Introduce the recall and set an amended date of closure, and the issue will be put on the agenda for the meeting of December 7th.
right, but that's separate and apart from the resolution that's currently on for the special meeting. Am I correct, Sean, or is that part of the resolution? Is he amending the resolution that's on the special meeting agenda?
I believe President Schultz is trying to amend the resolution from the last meeting and renotice it for the upcoming public meeting.
Right.
Okay, but is that separate and apart from the resolution that I prepared for today's special meeting?
He's amending that one.
He's amending the one that's currently on the agenda
Correct.
for
Under-
the special meeting agenda?
Yes.
Okay,
Under the council.
so he needs a motion to amend first, to add the language to recall and amend.
Okay.
But I think we should take attendance. We need to have public portion and then move into the
Okay, attendance.
President Schultz,
Present.
Secretary Treasurer Horowitz,
Here.
Trustee Warner is absent, Trustee Pell,
Present.
Trustee Welker.
Here,
We have a quorum present, sir.
Okay. So how do you want that worded?
Well, public portion first to see if anyone would like to speak.
Anybody here to speak?
Besides Billy Mack.
He left.
I want to hear what Billy's got to say.
He left.
Big left. No.
I would just note, I've advised the board confidentially. I'd urge you to all take a look at your email, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a resolution. I can't see.
Okay,
the-
well, as you recall, we discussed this last week when we were talking about Tom's Pond, and we extended it out till the 3rd, so we could have a discussion after the fact with Ed Warner, after Cornell did a clam inventory in there, and then it was going to be decided today already. It was mentioned then that it was going to be decided that today whether it was going to be continued to be closed or open. So that has already been discussed last meeting, that something was going to be done today. So all I'm doing today is, since Ed is not here, is that we are wishing to extend it at least out until the 5th, to pick the 15th as a middle date of the month, but it can be changed on Monday's meeting when hopefully Ed is in attendance. So it's not out of the blue. It was discussed at the last meeting that there was going to be a decision today, whether it have to be a special meeting or not.
Okay, may I speak to procedure, please?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so there's an agenda with a resolution corresponding to the special meeting today. So if you're amending that resolution to add the language of recalling and amending the resolution from the November 23rd meeting, which set the deadline till tomorrow, motion to amend first, add the language, and then we table that resolution until Monday. Sean, is that the correct sequence of events?
Yeah, Lisa, I've already advised the board confidentially, so
Okay,
Okay, so read it back, read what you want me to say then.
so you're amending the resolution that's currently before you for the special meeting to recall and amend the resolution, which I'll get the resolution number, from the 11/23 meeting to add the extension to December 15th. So you're amending the resolution that's on the special meeting agenda.
Okay, whatever you said, I make that motion.
Okay, and then you want to table that resolution.
And wait,
Monday.
Make a motion. All in favor?
Amend.
Second?
Who was the second? I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Second it, Bill.
Me.
Bill,
Hold on,
okay.
hold on
to
a second
amend?
here.
Okay,
Should this not be procedurally on Monday's meeting?
you have a special meeting with a special meeting notice and a resolution before you that needs to be addressed. So you're amending the resolution that's before you for today's special meeting to add language to recall and amend the resolution that was passed on November 23rd. And then you're going to extend that date to December 15th. But first you have to amend the resolution that's before you for the special meeting. And then you can table the resolution that's before you today to Monday. I mean, that is my understanding of the correct procedure.
Is that correct, Sean?
Yeah, I've, like I said, specified in an email. Today, you should be articulating an urgency to do this today. On the record, please. And then
Oh.
proceed.
The reason being is that we don't want a pond opened up for 4 or 5 days and then potentially closed again, because pending the input from the trustee on the board that specializes in shellfishing.
So no real official decisions getting made on this till Monday, you're saying?
Well, no, we have to.
That's my question as well.
I'm confused by.
Wait. We said last meeting that there was going to be a special meeting, that we were going to decide this today when Ed was here.
Right.
Okay. So now Ed is not here unless we want to. Well,
I'm just not clear on the procedural aspects of it. I just want to make sure that on the procedural aspect side of it, that we're dot I cross T. That's all. I'm not an expert on.
no, me too. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not circumvent any rules or regulations. However, it was discussed that we were going to make a decision on whether this pond was going to be continued to be closed or it was going to be opened. And it was discussed at the last meeting. So therefore, the only way that we could have had a meeting, a discussion on this today, was if we had a special meeting. And that was implied that that's what was going to happen today. So it's no surprise. Okay, that's why we said to the 4th, because it was going to be decided today, and then if it was decided to stay open, then it could be opened on the 4th. It's usually opened on the 1st.
Right, because we were waiting for a report, right?
Right.
So I don't have a report.
Would be a special meeting today.
Right.
That's what we decided. Otherwise, we would have made it till the regular scheduled meeting that we had. There was a reason why Ed wanted it on the 4th, so it could be discussed today. So there was going to be always going to be some sort of resolution introduced today. Okay.
So
What I'm doing is, since Ed is not here, extending the time out for the resolution until he gets back. I put the 15th. We can put it the 8th, the 7th, any date you want, until the full board is here to figure out what they want to do.
Right. I mean, the full board's here on Monday, right?
Right.
He should be here on Monday. We should be able to get his input and figure out, what we're going to do. I mean,
But we have.
So what do we got to do to get this thing so we can do that?
We closed it till this time, waiting for a inventory from now, so it should stay closed until we determine that it should be open.
Okay, so
So are you saying, excuse me for
Lisa.
interrupting. Go ahead, Ann.
Well, I'm just trying to see what the best way to put this in, what words to put this in so that there's an urgency that is conveyed here.
right, we were supposed to be reviewing a report from Cornell, and then we were supposed to discuss this with the Ed, who's our resident Bayman here, but I haven't been able to review any report from Cornell, so I'm not,
Right,
I
well,
can't say whether it's good, bad, or what. So I'm just trying to figure out how do we get this so it's proper so that we can look at the report and make a good decision.
that was the only issue, the amount of clams. It was to the point that Cornell had put juvenile scallops and oysters and,
Right.
no, not oysters, right, Ed? I mean,
Scallops?
The scallops.
just the scallops. And the possibility of trampling all the scallops down when we're trying to restore the scallop population in Peconic Bay, that this is an isolated pond. Nobody really goes in there except one or two baymen. And that would be counterproductive to the scallops that we put in there to be stepping all over them.
Because one of the reasons that Greg wanted to put them in there, so hopefully these scallops will spawn in the springtime, and the spawn will be going around in a circle and attached to each other and mate. So then they would go out to pipe. So they have a better chance of, a bigger spawn, and if they're in a closed area.
So can I ask a couple things? Has Greg weighed in on this yet at all, even verbally?
Yeah, he gave us an inventory of the clams. It just got them like the other day, yesterday.
Last night.
Okay.
Yeah, last,
And
right. Last.
Has there been the opportunity for members of the public or the Bayman to weigh in on this, the way this is rolling out?
No, there hasn't been. No, but it's
That's
only a
what-
3-acre pond, okay? It's 3-acre pond out of 26,000 acres that we have,
It's still important for whomever wishes of the public to weigh in.
Well, yeah, you
Right.
know what? I think that instead of one or two guys knowing about this pond and going in there and using it as their own, then maybe the whole public should be able to
Well-
go out on Facebook and everybody know how many clams are in there and how good it is, so that the public can utilize it.
I think that's problematic with what Trustee Pell was saying with the scallops that were put in there. So I think really, we've got to look at this more sensibly. We don't want to kill the whole thing. We don't want to kill all the scallops they just put in there. So I think is how do we properly manage this, balance it fairly, and do it, so we're following the protocols. That's all. I don't think it's a good idea to wipe that place out. How do we do this? So,
Bill,
All
what
right.
was the average there again? What was the average? I just glanced at it last night.
It's like, I think it was like 4 clams per square something.
That's not.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine, but when I was talking to Greg, he said that it's very important it's not overpopulated, okay, but it's very important for the scallops to spawn and the clams to spawn and go around in a circle. They have a better chance of mating in that area, then go out the pipe.
So how do we best manage this so that the thing isn't, look, you know what the whole thing is? Great. We got great report from Dr. Gobler, Shinnecock, good story. Bayman, everybody, public made a good investment in sanctuaries in several areas there. And now we're getting dividends. We're getting dividends from the collective buy-in from all of the stakeholders. And now you've got great things going on. How do we do the same thing with this? How do we do the same thing?
We wait.
I mean, I want to get the same type of benefits from this for everybody. I just, and the procedural stuff. How do we do this?
I mean, that's why
I'm-
North Sea Harbor
To the
has a
overall
lot of
goal.
clams, because we have that one sanctuary in the northwest corner where Conscious Points, they've been putting clams and oysters in there for the last couple of years. And they spawn in there, and that spreads it all around. Same thing could happen here.
We're talking about 4 days. 4 days to.
Yeah. So how do we, I don't know. Right till Monday. We're pushing this till Monday.
Yeah, that's what intention was, right? I just put the 15th so to give us some wiggle room so we didn't have to make another special date in case Ed wasn't here on Monday. That's all.
So I need to be clear on this. So you're amending the motion the resolution that's currently before you to add the language to recall and amend the resolution that was adopted at the November 23rd meeting to change the expiration date to December 15th. Is that what we're doing today? We're amending the resolution that's before you for the special meeting to add the language regarding
Wait,
recall and amending?
I went over it with Sean and I wrote this down. We both collaborated on this, and this is what was decided here. To introduce a motion to recall and amend the resolution to close Tom's Pond until December 3rd. That was set on the meeting date, the last meeting, and to set an amended date of closure until December 15th to basically allow us to discuss this with Ed on Monday.
Okay, but I need clarification as to the resolution that's on for the special meeting that I prepared for the special meeting that's been published.
Well, I don't know what that says.
Well, it was circulated to the entire board prior to the meeting, so that's what I was told to do, was
Okay,
prepare the resolution with that, with different language. So are you amending the resolution that's before you to recall and amend and add the date of December 15th? Is that what we're doing right now?
I'm going to have to get a copy of that so I can answer that question.
If anybody has their email open, it was emailed to all of you. I can't open my email because I can't get to Zoom through my regular channel, so. It's a mirror resolution of the resolution that was adopted on the 23rd. It just has the expiration says until further notice.
Oh, okay. And then just put then instead of December, what I'm reading is December 15th, just until further notice.
Okay, I think we're getting confused. I'm getting very confused.
You're confused.
Vaughn, you gotta weigh in on this. Like, how do we do this properly? Can you?
Okay, so motion to amend first so that is anyone looking at the agenda that I prepared for the special meeting right now?
I could do that right now.
I just
Okay,
gave it to
someone can
Eric.
please open up the agenda that I prepared for today's
The
meeting.
one just now?
The one I just sent you, it has the special meeting notice as
Okay.
well as the.
I have it. I have
Okay.
it.
You got it?
So you're
Okay.
Eric's gonna make a motion to amend, which he already did and seconded by Trustee Pell, to amend to add the language that Sean discussed. And I will add that language. But my question is, do we now need to table that resolution to Monday or
Yes,
adopt?
we table it,
Wait. Yeah, but the pond's open to, correct?
so you need to articulate the reason for irreparable injury or harm,
Right, and then table till Mondays.
and then table to Monday.
Okay,
I just thought I just said that. As far as
okay,
the
so we just need a motion to table now, President Schultz, to
Motion.
Monday the 7th.
I'll second his motion.
Wait a minute. Question on the motion. Does that allow the public to go in there tomorrow and start clamming? Can
No,
anybody-
because you've amended the resolution to add in the December 15th date, am I correct?
You
Okay.
just have to vote to adopt it right
Right.
now, and then table it for discussion for next meeting.
Okay.
Right. So we already have a motion to amend by President Schultz, seconded by Trustee Pell.
We need
Now-
a second, a vote, and then motion to adopt, second
Right.
vote.
And we table it till Monday.
So we just need the motion to adopt now. President Schultz has a motion on the floor, seconded by Secretary Treasurer Horowitz to adopt. Okay, and now we need a motion to table to Monday, December 7th.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay,
Wow.
So now, just to make it clear to the public, it's closed until the 15th. We're going to discuss it on Monday's meeting.
Right, this way we can review the reports and have a discussion with resident Beckman.
Can you,
Right.
can someone send this over to the Bay Constables so they know
Yeah.
what's going
yes, I'll be in the office tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow morning.
on? They
How
can,
did this board last for 375 years?
can someone, you should be able to do tonight because I'll call Richie and tell him, but because
Okay,
people think it's open tomorrow morning. They have to have someone down there at 6.
Call them too.
okay, I will, they're probably gone, so if you want me to call
Yeah.
Al, call Al.
Or just send my email so it's not, we have a paper trail. That's all. That's
Okay.
all.
Man, I'll call up Rich too, just to make
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
And also put it on the website. Whoever
Not
does
gonna
that.
go on the website tonight, Bill, but I'll put the request in tonight.
Yeah, for tomorrow. Yes, thank you.
I'm amazed that Greg was able to get down there and at least work that quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did a good job. Took them all afternoon.
Yeah, Bill, what was the average? 8? Or was it 20?
4, he said.
18, I think.
Oh, 18, I thought you said 4.
18 per square meter
Meter.
average. Okay, so that's basically 9 square feet. So that's like 2 a foot, 2 per
So
square.
this is information we can discuss on Monday then, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we should. Is he preparing a report to send out to us all, or Mr. Rivera?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. This is a special situation with this pond. There's only one access over a right of way and it's only 3 acres in size. And, okay. Okay. Make a motion that we close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, James. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Charles.
Have a good night.
Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.